Hello, this is Danielle here from 11 Dancing Dandelions. I'm here to kind of give you guys a little update, and I will be having an Etsy shop update. If you see this video, or when you see this video, these will be listed in my Etsy shop, and I'll kind of go into that, why I'm doing it that way. Basically, and you guys, I don't know if you've wondered where I've been, but life has been a little bit crazy for us lately. Caitlin started kindergarten, so she went to school for, outside of VPK for the first time, and she had developed a severe rash, and so we were dealing with that. And then unfortunately, my father-in-law passed away last weekend, so everything has kind of been jumbled. My schedule's been jumbled, and I've done the best that I can. And so we will be leaving to go see, or to go to a memorial for him. And so I'm going to post these in my Etsy shop, and they will be there until Sunday. And then on Sunday, I will be putting my shop in vacation mode for a few days, because I won't be able to ship anything out when we're there. So I hope you guys understand. And if by chance you don't see this video and you see something that you really wanted, and my shop is on vacation mode, just send me a message. And if I have not sold the journal before I leave, just ask me, and if it's still available, then I will let you know, and I will reserve it for you in my shop when I get back. So I hope that makes sense. Basically, I'm going to try to have this video and the photos done this evening, and they will be in the shop hopefully by Friday. And then so they'll be in the shop Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday I will be putting my shop in vacation mode. And then if you're watching the video later and you're wondering if something is available, just send me a message or a comment on my YouTube, or a message through my Etsy shop, and I will let you know if it's still available, and if it is, if you'd like to reserve it. So this time I did a lot of journals. So there's 3 that are, pretty heavily embellished. There are 2 vintage sewing pattern journals, and there's a ring binder journal that's semi-embellished. And then this time I've done 2 completely blank slate journals. So they're not embellished, they're just the pages sewn in, and they will of course be at a lower price point. So let's get started. I probably won't be able to do all of this in one video, so I'll see how the time goes. But let's take a peek. So this journal, or this book was a Hallmark, as you can see, a Hallmark pop-up book. I couldn't find a copyright at all on it. I would guess like 70s maybe. And it was pretty cool. You'll see inside what I did with some of the pop-outs. For this one, I did not do anything on the spine because some people do not like buttons or charms, but I will let you know that I've picked out buttons, mostly vintage, that will coordinate with this cover, and I can tie them onto the spine for you. Or I can make another tassel like this one that just is removable, that kind of clips on and has lots of different beads and whatnot on that. So you've kind of got 3 options, and if you purchase this journal, you'll just have to message me if you want either a charm, tassel, or buttons placed on the spine. So we'll take a peek. It's a little bit oversized. Let me get my ruler. I didn't measure this before. So it's about 9 by 6.5, and I think it's about a 2 3/4 inch spine. No, about 2.5 inch spine. And so on the inside, I've just placed a little book plate here, and a lot of things clipped in. This one has a few decorative paper clips. This one's a stack of books. And this was from a Richard Scarry book, and I just kind of backed it so you can make it into a pocket or a journaling tag. And then this was one of the pop-outs, and I fussy cut it to make it into a tuck spot. This is a vintage postulette and a vintage milk cap, some vintage apple stickers, and apple stationery. And this is an optional tuck spot. Let me see. You can kind of tuck something like a photo underneath there if you want. And some apple trim. Lots of things paper clipped in. And this is the little pop out, so I preserved that. It's kind of cute, and it's a little tuck spot. Or pocket, top loading pocket. And another little fussy cut from the book. This is a vintage flash card. And another little pop out. This is from a vintage Make It book. And some vintage ledger, stationery. These little things, you'll see them throughout, a few of them. I fussy cut them from the Richard Scarry book. They were just images of little books, and I backed them onto some recycled file folder and made them little tabs. This is a vintage ticket with some teacher's agenda book paper. And some vintage stamps. Another little Richard Scarry here. Flashcards, note paper. This is a vintage Denison label. And some vintage fabric, ruffles. Just to cut apart from the paper line. Here I used another little image from the book to make it a small tuck spot. And then I like how the cat is kind of peeking over the back of the page. And then a little vintage milk cap and flashcard. This is a vintage report card and vintage ticket. Some more fussy cut from the book. And this one has a little school bus and the charm. Some vintage wrapping paper. Flashcard. This is some vintage math book paper. And again, same with this, some vintage workbook paper. And vintage milk cap. This is another puzzle piece. You guys, if you've seen my other videos, have seen that I've used these in a few of the school journals. And a bingo card. Vintage playing card. This side's a tuck spot as well. And a vintage photo of two school-aged boys. And this is a vintage edu card. A math flash card and an extra report card. This one was kind of coming apart at the seams, so I just added it in here for you to use as different ephemera. And then this is from the book also, and I backed it with some cardstock and stitched around it. So you can make that into a tuck spot or use it as a journaling card. Some more of that report card. This is also part of the book. I fussy cut it out and made it into a pocket. And this is just a vintage coloring page book. Very colorful. I tried to be a little more eclectic with this one and not so matchy. This is probably as eclectic as I get. I try, and then it still ends up somewhat coordinating. So I guess it's just my personality or style. Again, fussy cut from the book. Another flash card, and this one is of a child. This little charm. This one is a pop-up. That was part of the book, and I cut it out, leaving this to make it a tuck spot. And this is just a vintage Richard Scarry page that I've backed. And then this one's fun. So it's very interactive. I think the images are super colorful and super cute. Oops. And just a little, that's just a piece of scrapbook paper you can use to mat some photos or use as journaling card. Again, all from the book with some vintage ledger. There's some old stickers throughout. A vintage Reel Master, and this one that is in it is ABC Circus, and a vintage oversized Rolodex, and some stationery paper. Another workbook page. This one's probably from the 80s, I think, if I remember correctly. And some vintage fabric. This was from a, I think this was a Dick and Jane reader. And then we've got the little zebra pull. You can pull his stripes and just some goodies tucked in the back here. So that's the end of the Animals ABC. Again, if you want a tassel or buttons, and you purchase this, just let me know. All right, so we will move on to Richard Scarry's Chipmunks ABC. This one has a little bit longer tassel. The tassel is pretty heavy, so these tassels, I love them. Oops, let me see if I can, let me just take it off. So I used a vintage button at the top, and then there are a ton of glass beads, like these are glass beads, and then there's some handmade paper beads on here as well. This is one, that's one, this is one, and this is one. Really, really cool. That's a handmade bead. And then some more glass beads, lots of glass beads. So this is kind of substantial in weight. And then some little apple beads. These are my favorite type of glass beads. I think they're so pretty. So that's on there. And then, like I said, it's a little bit longer on this one, so everybody kind of has their own style. So I did one that's shorter and one that's longer. And then again, this is just a regular size little golden book, like 6x8 approximately. Yeah, like 2.5-inch spine, 3 signatures, the typical that I do. And then this copyright is 1963. So again, any tickets you see in this one are vintage, so I'll try to go a little bit quicker. I fussy cut this from, I think, this book or the other Richard Scarry book that I used. And this one has some interesting paper clips too. This one's a little apple with a gem in the middle, and some vintage ABC trim, vintage milk cap, vintage playing card, and then I love my book. Some ledger. For this is a flashcard, from that flashcard set. And then for this one, I did a few little clusters using some scraps and fussy cut images from another Richard Scarry book, and some fabric in the back. So there's a few of those. I think I did one in each signature for this one. And then some flip out pages, more stamps, fabric. If you feel like this paper is too thin, you can always attach it and make it into, like, glue it here and here, or double tape it and make it into a pocket. I'm missing a paper clip. So this book will also, I haven't done them yet, I need to still do them. It will also have a school bus paper clip and a little child, I think they're little boys with a baseball cap on or something, charmed. And then a vintage flashcard. When I get back, I'm also going to be after I finish a few other obligations, I have started setting some things to stock my Etsy shop with some supplies, and these flashcards will be part of that. I just trimmed it a little bit because they're actually even larger, but It fits perfectly in this one. Another fussy cut, library card. Another tab made from the book image. And this postulette is just clipped in, paper clipped in. I think it would make a really cute pocket if you glued these 3 sides down. And then you could open up and journal in it as well. But I just clipped it in so you can do what you'd like with it. This is another of the cluster. And then for this one, I just sewed some fabric onto this journaling card or pocket. So as you'll see, another report card with a little book tab. A lot of the same elements. So when I do batch journals, I try to do a lot of the same elements, just make them different, so that I have to only go through my ephemera and stuff once and just pull it all out at the same time. But they end up looking, I think, different, but similar. So another fussy cut. This is a vintage first day issue of National Letter Writing Week, and this one's dated 1980. But you know, you'll see that a lot of the elements are similar. More workbook pages and stationery and ledger and fussy cuts and snippet rolls. This is from the McCall's Make It book. And a pocket. Here's the third little cluster. This is a cute little image of the chipmunk jumping over the frog. If you watch my other videos, you know I love chipmunks. And that is the end of Chipmunks ABC. All right, and we've got the little schoolhouse. It's a wonder book, and it's about a little over 6 by a little over 8, and 2.5-inch spine, 3 signatures. So if you saw another video, I did a custom journal with this book, and I don't know why, but I had ordered another book at some point, so I figured I might as well make another one for my shop. And then this one has a little ruler charm and just a flash journaling card from a Rand McNally Jr. Elf book. I don't remember which one it was. And same thing. If I did not use a lot of printables, but when I see one, I will let you know. This is a vintage price ticket. Vintage ticket. This is a printable. I'll put it in the description box, the name of the shop. The printables I used are the same ones that I used in the custom school journals. So, but like I said, I'll put them in the description box in case you want to go check them out. Just some extra goodies tucked in here. This is from some book. I'm not sure. Oops. Little glue remnants there. I'm not sure which book I got that from. I think it might have been a dictionary, one of the dictionary books. The report card. This is a vintage playing card. Another puzzle piece. This yo-yo is just paper clipped on. And then a vintage photo of a little boy. And some of that math paper and stationery. This is the printable from the same place as the last printable I mentioned. Looks like I got something stuck here. I have to get my little eraser, my little glue eraser out for that. And then, geez, I've got lots of stuff stuck in here. There we go. Little Rolodex. Looks like that took some of that paper off. Wonderful. I'll probably give you something to patch that if you want. Definitely none of my journals are perfect. They are handmade and I am human, so things happen. But I will give you something that you can place over that if you don't like it. And then another Viewmaster with some feedstock fabric and a vintage coupon. Here's a pocket with some goodies tucked inside and a yearbook page and another Dick and Jane reader photo. Another pocket. This is the same printable that the others were from. So basically they are like office supply packaging, and they've scanned them, I guess, and made them into printables. So they're all kind of office school themed. This is a vintage sewing pattern that I fussy cut out. And first day issue, this one's 1979, and it's International Year of the Child. These I just paper clipped in. They're the book pages. And I paper clipped them in case you wanted to fussy cut these out and use them in the journal. If you don't want to do that and you'd rather them be journal cards, just let me know. If you purchase this, send me a message and tell me that you'd like them backed onto cardstock and stitched around, and I'll make them into journaling cards for you. No big deal. This is a KBandFriends printable. Another little paper clip. That's a notebook. And this one I will put some school bus and child also. If you've purchased a journal from me before, I try to add anything I pulled out to make the journals. I try to add the materials for you to use in your journal as you're creating in it. And every time it's a little bit different. Sometimes I pull way too much stuff and I have a lot more things, and sometimes I pull less things and I don't have as much to give in the little extras pack, but there's always something. So this is some vintage apple trim and some little journaling cards. This is from an Ideals magazine. It's got the cutest little image of a boy and a girl. They're so cute. That's so cute. That's like one of my favorite images. And then a library catalog card. Some more vintage stamps and a sewing pattern girl. Another paper clipped image in case you want to fussy cut. Again, this one's sewing pattern from a sewing pattern catalog. So again, if you want these into journaling cards, so you can either make them into, use them as journaling cards or make them into tuck spots, just send me a message. It's not a big deal for me to back them for you. If I back them and you wanted to fussy cut them, I can't go the other way, so I prefer to leave them, and then if you want them into journaling cards, you can let me know. Another flashcard. And the class is waving goodbye. And that's the end of the Wonder Book. I don't know if I showed you the charm for this one. So there's another vintage button and glass beads, wood beads. This is a handmade bead. This is a handmade bead. And the apples. Lots of different variety. So this one is more concentrated towards the top and has long strings. So I left them long. If you want to add your own beads, you can. If you want to trim this up, you can, but it's kind of open to what you'd like. So I'm going to end this video here, and then I will come back and I will do the next set, because I don't want to leave them too, I don't want to make the video too long. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.